There's an entrepreneurial movement sweeping the globe. But unlike others, reserved to exclusive corners of the world like Silicon Valley, this democratized movement can transform the prosperity in every city and every country represented here today. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, Dean, here you go again about entrepreneurialism. Every time you talk about this, I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't want to be. My diplomatic friends say every time you talk about this, I got to put on one of these UN headphones just to understand what you're talking about. It's so confusing. So I have good news. Behind most successful startups, there are non-entrepreneurs. That's right. You know who you are. Non-entrepreneurs. We need you. And what most people don't understand is non-entrepreneurs are actually the connected tissue that can be the difference between a sustainable movement or another bubble. So I'd like to tell you a story how this movement is transforming Chicago. But first, I thought we'd look back a little bit to another movement that happened there in 1871, when that booming city burned to the ground. You know, more remarkable than the story of the Great Chicago Fire was what happened next. People united, not just to rebuild. They got together and created a blueprint for the next generation of cities. Chicago actually became ground zero for this movement, recruiting entrepreneurs, engineers, designers, developers, builders from all over the world to figure out how to make a blueprint for the future of urban growth. They even invented the modern skyscraper. And Chicago's doing it again. We've built a startup incubator there and called it 1871. A little bit of pressure, I know. But we did it with the support of all of our civic, business, government, academic, and financial leadership, all in one central location, helping entrepreneurs get this unfair competitive advantage. So we've invited a lot of entrepreneurs, developers, designers, engineers from around the world to come. We've got about 200 of them now under one roof that we're supporting. Here's what we didn't know. We were surprised how quickly it became the central hub of entrepreneurial activity in Chicago, also fostering a contagious regional ecosystem. We also didn't understand that a lot of the business and civic leaders would start showing up there every week. And literally from Silicon Valley CEOs to Fortune 500 CEOs, everybody seems to want to come, even world leaders. And we talk about all types of things, but they basically come to learn, they come to share, they come to support us, but they really come to partner with us. And how do we accelerate this global movement? When I was meeting with the Minister of Commerce of India, who had already visited dozens of accelerators, he said, Dean, why or how did 1871 become so impactful so quickly? So I proudly picked up a piece of chalk, went over to the chalkboard, and couldn't think of what to write. I actually didn't know. So I thought about it, and the word people popped into my mind. And I said, you know, we've been fortunate enough to bring together the right people, and they've taken on different roles. Some of them are spotters, some of them are planners, some of them are actually builders, and then there's also sustainers. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about those. Spotters see the fire ahead, but they also bring people together with a good sense of urgency and a vision. Sometimes that fire is very obvious, like Detroit trying to rebuild its crumbled economy. For Chicago, it was very different. We wanted to essentially help a new generation to become leaders and build companies. But after 10 years of trying, one of our board members showed up and said, we're not making an economic impact. We're just not making an impact out there. It wasn't the governor you're seeing there. It's the guy behind him on the left. J.B. Pritzker was our spotter, and he had a pretty simple vision. Let's focus on digital startups, and let's commit to building a physical center where people can come. That's why planners are so critical. They need to build bold plans. When the space shuttle program was canceled, the fire wasn't just about a hit to space exploration. It was 7,000 local jobs being eliminated. Smart planners put an incubator inside the Johnson Space Center to allow entrepreneurs to get access to NASA's best technology to make new products. Another one I like is movements can focus on industry challenges, like the Security Innovation Network, which brings together entrepreneurs, government, and business all together to solve our nation's largest cybersecurity issues. Movements can also be virtual, like the Innovation Network, that helps innovators become more entrepreneurial. One thing we've noticed, if you bring together some type of a supportive ecosystem, the entrepreneurs will come. What we didn't know is together how braver they are, how bolder their business plans are, and quite frankly, how much more compelling their businesses become. Like Stan, who moved his company from Russia to 1871 because he could not get a supportive ecosystem in his country. Or Liam's nonprofit that funds programs for people to get themselves out of poverty. And Brian's nearby venture that helps nonprofits take control of their fundraising. The last thing I drew on the board that day was sustainers. These are the shepherds of the movement. If I haven't convinced you to be a spotter or a planner or a builder yet, think about being a sustainer. These are my favorites. Mentors. Mentors sign up, show up, spend time with entrepreneurs talking about anything and everything. All of us can be mentors. It doesn't take any special skills. It just takes the passion to want to help somebody. Another critical role is connectors. These are the people that make very good introductions to people, businesses, and institutions that can actually accelerate the growth of a startup. And the last one, my favorite, something everybody knows about here, ambassadors. That's right, all of you. Ambassadors are essentially the glue that do a lot of things. They promote the movement. They bring people together. They essentially scale the passion. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that are out there making sure that it has a sustainable life. So I hope today this ambassador has convinced all of you and ignited a fire in you to take on this movement in your industry, in your city, in your country. Because whatever hybrid role you choose, with you involved, entrepreneurs are going to be braver and more united in creating the next generation of prosperity. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.